I don't always share the news, but when I do, I lie. Good evening and welcome to We Lie to You News. Over the past week alone, the world has greatly improved by getting 53% dumber. Tonight, we'll share with you our top stories that'll explain why we're getting dumber, starting with, in response to food shortages, Germany has ordered its farmers to slash their fertilizer use. This move that makes food shortages even shorter is being done as part of Klaus Schwab's and the World Economic Forum's green agenda. Only an idiot wouldn't see how increasing starvation decreases global warming. And if you're dumb enough to be thinking, let us reassure you that Germany proactively taking a step to creating a famine is not about population control. And in other news, the Dutch government has shut down over 3,000 farms. No word yet on how they'll be able to feed food to their population without food. This intentional starvation step is in an effort to help combat climate change. This is not about population control. Meanwhile, Canada is now actively promoting assisted suicide as a remedy, even for people with treatable conditions, including treatable mental illness. Veterans in Canada have even reported hospital workers inappropriately suggesting and trying to coerce them into giving assisted suicide a shot. The best part is, the government funds the deadly treatment of death. Truly compassionate while also being a modern-day medical miracle breakthrough. It certainly gets our stamp of approval. And just so you know, Justin Trudeau's desire to kill Canadians for their own good is not about population control. Moving along, people are having trouble reproducing. It's come to light that over the past 50 years, sperm counts are down by 62%. Some say it will lead to a reproductive crisis. Some are speculating that what's responsible for the alarming drop in sperm counts could be toxins found in our food and water, all of which would have been put there by someone. More to be discovered, but for now, we just want to reassure you, this is not about population control. And in the US, over the past year, we have seen abortion being pushed as an empowering, morally superior thing to do, because babies' lives don't matter. Unfortunately, many men have yet to get on the bandwagon of getting abortions. I don't know what's wrong with these men. I myself have had 11 abortions this month alone. I like to get them preventatively, kind of like booster abortions. Nonetheless, with the politicized encouragement to get abortions, we can assure you that this is not about population control. And in other news that's also kind of the same, Rod Stewart's 11-year-old son was recently rushed to the hospital after it was suspected that he had a heart attack. Now, why did another 11-year-old have a heart attack? Well, the answer is simple. It's probably just from many decades of eating junk food. What else could it be? Though you can expect a clear answer to this question in exactly never, we can assure you that this is not about population control. Have you seen Died Suddenly? Good movie. The information it exposes also definitely has nothing to do with population control. The plot of the Twitter files has thickened. After Elon released the first batch of the Twitter files, showing irrefutable evidence of the government colluding with a tech giant to censor Americans' First Amendment right, along with showing the organization's intentional cover-up of the rather hilarious Hunter Biden laptop story to ensure we have a free and fair election. As we always do, you'll get in trouble if you say otherwise. It was discovered that a former FBI attorney now working at Twitter was deleting evidence from the files that exposes the FBI's involvement in the censorship collusion. The former top attorney for the FBI is James Baker. He was heavily involved in trying to frame Donald Trump in the 2016 Russia collusion hoax. This just in! Trump definitely did what he didn't do. After Elon found out about Baker altering the Twitter files in order to hide the FBI's corruption, he immediately fired Baker. And in what could go wrong with this decision news, Hunter's dad swoops in to save the day for former WNBA star and current Russian felon, Brittany Griner. After repeatedly kneeling for the national anthem, Griner then willingly broke Russian law by taking cannabis into the country. Apparently a no-no. She was then sentenced to prison in Russia for the crime she committed. But the most popular president in U.S. history with the lowest approval rating in U.S. history has just negotiated her release in exchange for the U.S. releasing a notorious Russian arms dealer. This move is being applauded by everyone who wants Russia to be better armed. And hopefully Biden's move can get Russia some more nukes that we'd like them to have. Nonetheless, with Griner's release, Americans can finally relax and continue not caring about the WNBA or even knowing what it is. Trump is found guilty! After shooting from the hip for 6 years, we finally got him. Well, kinda. And also, not really at all. The Trump Organization was found guilty of tax fraud in a New York court. A former executive with the organization, Alan Weisselberg, pleaded guilty to spending money on his staff and family members with money that was not reported to the IRS. Those are the facts, and we can assure you that they don't matter. What does matter is a better framed soundbite like, Trump found guilty of tax fraud, because he's a criminal. Right, Liz Cheney?
I think he's guilty.
He certainly is. And now I think we've got all the proof we need that the tax fraud that Trump didn't personally commit is what caused the security guards to open the gates, allowing protesters to enter the Capitol building on January 6th. And our final story, who killed JFK? We're reporting on the Daily Wire, reporting on a journalist, Jefferson Morley, who reported on a new finding regarding the JFK assassination. Morley reportedly uncovered documents that indicate that Lee Harvey Oswald was connected with and involved with the CIA 3 months prior to JFK's assassination. At a press conference in the creepiest city on earth, Washington, D.C., Jefferson Morley said, "We're talking about smoking gun proof of a CIA operation involving Lee Harvey Oswald." Interestingly, never before seen JFK documents that the CIA and FBI have continuously fought hard to keep a secret are legally set to be released later this week. With the nobility and transparency that the CIA and FBI definitely stand for, you can look for those documents to not actually be released. But to finally solve the mystery around JFK's assassination, it is clear that the January 6th committee needs to look for, if not create, evidence that President Trump was indeed the second gunman on the grassy knoll. Do you think, Liz?
It's appropriate to think about it that way.
Me too! And that's it for today's news. We're getting dumber by the day, and that's a good thing because it helps you better believe what we tell you. And if you're having a tough day, go get some assisted suicide, you worthless peasant, because we care. Good night! Freedom Lover! I would love to invite you to join my Freedom Lovers community on Locals. It's where I share uncensored information. You get behind the scenes looks into my life. It's free to join and become a member. You can also upgrade, become a supporter, unlock even more features and content, like my weekly behind the scenes live chats with all the supporters. Being a supporter costs less than a cup of chicken feed each day, or you can just become a free member. Either way, I would love to have you join my Freedom Lovers community, which you can do at this link. See you on the inside. I was just behind the green screen whitening my teeth, because that's what I do. Which leads me to the next order of business. I would like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Primal Life Organics. This couch is mildly uncomfortable. But more importantly, let me ask you this question. Do you like money? And do you like to have a good dating life? Because if you do, research has shown that having whiter teeth greatly helps you with both those causes. How so? Studies show that in job situations, people with whiter teeth are much more likely to be hired and hired for their dream job at a higher salary. And in dating scenarios, 95% of singles say non-white teeth is a deal breaker. So I guess people don't like ugly folks. Like it or not, that's the reality. But the cool thing is you can do something about it by whitening your teeth, and Primal Life Organics helps you do it better than anyone else. And they do that by, instead of using harmful chemicals and peroxides that are damaging to your teeth and health, they use an LED light mouthpiece and a food-grade teeth whitening gel to, guess what? Whiten your teeth. And it's quick and easy. I use the system 3 times a week, and it gives me beautifully bright white teeth. But I don't do it for dating purposes, in case my wife is watching. Not that. I just like white teeth. And if you would like to start beautifying yourself quickly and easily with whiter teeth, just go to naturalteethwhiteners.com/JP. And while you're there at that link, you get a full